Live from the Cactus Creek at Ibri, he is the king of prime time, Ghana's undisputed entertainment laureate, and still the youngest old man in Ghana. Put your hands together, show some love for the indefatigable KSM.
The KSM Show.
Yes. How are you doing? And I have a great show today. You know, it's very, very interesting, you know, when I'm going to interview people and I'm meeting for the first time on the show. Well, because we have never met before, but it's a great pleasure to meet this young man. He's dynamic and he's actually the director of the NDC Legal Services. Put your hands together, show some love for Edudzi Tamakloe. Yeah.
I'm ready for you.
You're ready for me? Please sit down. He says he's ready for me, man. He's sitting down, call a friend to call a friend and call a friend. Tell them we have Edudzi in the house. We're taking a short commercial break. We will be right back.
The KSM Show.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
The KSM Show.
So this is the KSM show, the generational show, a chair of, you know, for the young, the old, and everybody. And for the young ones, keep watching, because 30 years from now, the show will still be here. Because if I remember, it's been here since.
Thank you, folks. You know, it's election season, and everything I do now is it's for the season. And I'm very, very happy today, you know, because I have in the house somebody I've been seeing for a long time. Every day I see him on TV. It's like I know him. But trust me, today's the first time I'm meeting him. Edudzi, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. The legend.
Allegedly.
No. Yours is end.
Eh?
Yeah. I mean, growing up, many years ago,
Yeah.
anytime you hear the name Kweku Sintim Misa, a lot of things run through your mind. And ultimately, we are looking at a consummate professional. And you have earned your mark. No doubt whatsoever.
Thank you.
And today, I'm so excited that I'm before you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Now, when you get the opportunity to be in front of the legend, you just have to be careful. Yes, thank you.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's very interesting because I think your generation is now, you guys are the one occupying places now. You are the top guys now. So when I interview people, they come and that's the first thing they tell me, oh, KSM, I was watching you when I was...
Yes. I remember around when I was in Lagos, it was always KSM. Then today I'm before you.
Welcome.
I think I'm growing. Yeah. If I to be before you, I think it's a mark of growth. So Thank you once again.
Well,
Thank
welcome
you.
to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank
to the
you
show.
for the opportunity.
Yes. Edudzi, as I said in my introduction, it's the election season.
Absolutely.
And so let's go right in. I think currently one of the things that's been going on is sort of like the disagreement between NDC and the Electoral Commission and the discrepancy in the voters register and all of that. How is that going? And explain a little bit of that to me. What is happening with the
So
whole
once
thing?
again, I mean, like being here as the director of the legal directorate of the party, most of the things that we are dealing with are law related. When I say law related, election management in this country is governed by law. And so the Constitution itself provides the ultimate benchmark. Then you have what is known as the various constitutional instruments. So in this country, we have two instruments that we are dealing with currently. The Public Elections Registration Instrument, that's CI 91. In 2020, CI 91 was amended by CI 126. Then on the day of the election itself, there's another instrument that governs it. It's called Public Elections Regulation 2020, CI 127. So I'll be using these two instruments interchangeably. Now, the instrument says that at a point, the Electoral Commission must give what is known as the provisional voters register to the various political parties. Now, the provisional register is supposed to contain a lot of things. One, persons on the absent list, persons who engage in possible multiple registration, persons who will be doing special voting, transfer. Now, the transfer is where the issues are coming out now. Now, you see, the transfer is a very potent instrument of what we call gerrymandering. Now, somebody will ask, what is gerrymandering? If I'm an electoral officer, I can sit here and engineer in such a way that you, Mr. Kweku Sintimisa, may end up being the MP for Adenta.
They can engineer for me?
Yes. So we call it gerrymandering. Now, how do you do this gerrymandering? I can use the instrument of transfer. And so transfer is regulated strictly by law. Regulation 22 of CI 127. Now, what it says is that you cannot transfer somebody from one constituency into another constituency if the person had not stayed there more than 12 months. The reason being that me, Edudzi here, knowing that you are contesting, maybe on the ticket of NDC, and I like you, what I'll do is I'll make sure a safer seat, the seat, we have what we call marginal and safe seats. A safe seat means that maybe NDC or MPP wins it by 30,000, 20,000, 15,000 vote difference, right? So it's safe. Then you also have a situation where you win the seat by maybe 1,000, 800, 700 vote difference. Those are marginal. So all that I'll do is to go to a seat. So if it's an MPP, you go to Bantama, knowing that MPP wins there by a bigger margin, and begin to transfer votes from Bantama into a constituency like Asawase, or New Edubiase, or Ejura. And the whole idea by using the transfer instrument is that at the end of the day, all he needs to do is to move 5,000 people from Bantama into Ejura, and it can change the outcome of the parliamentary election. Now listen carefully. Presidential election, Ghana is considered to be one constituency. So whether you vote in Asawase, Bantama, K2 South, Evaluate Ejura, it goes into one basket. But parliamentary, the constituencies are demarcated. So the issue may not really be more of presidential, but parliamentary. In the sense that just by using the instrument of transfer, you can change the outcome of parliamentary elections.
But who initiates the transfer?
Excellent question. And that is where the NDC's contention with the Electoral Commission comes in. Now, if you look at Regulation 22 of CI 127, it says that a person, here a voter, may apply to have his vote transferred from one constituency to another. So by law, it is only the voter that can initiate the process of transfer. Now, we have a situation that we have uncovered where voters, about 38 of them, were transferred from Tamale to a constituency called Pusiga.
Without their knowledge?
Without their knowledge. Without their consent. So clearly, on the basis of Regulation 22 of CI 127, something untoward happened. Because as far as Regulation 22 is concerned, it is only the voter that can initiate the process.
That transfer.
Now, this is a situation where individuals have been transferred without their knowledge. It means that the Electoral Commission is now initiating a transfer. Beyond the fact that it is illegal, what it also suggests that the system is compromised. And that is where the NDC concern comes in. What exactly are the issues? In the 2020 election, look at this. The NDC won Pusiga seat, but the matter ended up in the High Court in Bolga. Incidentally, I was the lawyer for the NDC MP who won. Now, when we went into, the contention had to do with some 68 votes, which could tilt the election outcome. Do you get it? Now, if somebody can be at home and succeed in transferring even 500 votes into Pusiga, it's enough to cause a lot of change. So what it tells you is that you need to be very vigilant to all these shenanigans and devices that can be deployed. Now, what
before you go on,
just
so I get clarification. So the people whose votes were transferred, number one, it was without their knowledge.
They didn't know anything about it.
And how did they find out that they've been transferred when they went to do the checking? Or what
so the Electoral Commission will have a process called exhibition. Once you get a provisional register, we, the NDC, we also procure copies. The Electoral Commission gave us. So we quickly took the register, monitored the persons that, did the registration. In September 2023, there was limited voter registration for persons who couldn't register in 2020 and persons who just turned 18 years. We registered them, and we have a sheet detailing all their details. Then this year, we also did another limited registration exercise. So we have the list. Now, during the transfer of votes, we put our agents at the district offices. So anybody who came to do a transfer, we had record of them. So when we did all the reconciliation, we then found out that there are persons showing that they have transferred their votes from Tamale to Pusiga who never appeared at the district registration center. This time around, the transfers were done at the district offices. So it was easier to monitor. And we had our agents there. Our agents could monitor everything that was going on. When we raised the issue, the Electoral Commission admitted and in fact proceeded to suspend their district officer. As I speak, I understand he had even been dismissed from the Electoral Commission.
So the district officer personally took this on, or he didn't?
The information that we are picking is that the district electoral officer denies doing the transfer and now suggests that the transfer were done by the returning officer. Now the question is, it is only the district director that has access to the Electoral Commission database by way of passwords. So, were those passwords compromised? And that is why in our requests for the audits, one of the fundamental and key issues that we have raised is that we want to know the login protocols. What are the credentials? Who can enter and who can exit? How do we know that today it is Kweku Sintim Misa who entered the database and effected these transfers and not Edudzi. We need to know. Because the danger is that if we don't know, and which an audit will reveal, you can be at home and be effecting transfers. On the day of election, the respected Kweku Sintim-Misa goes to his polling station that he's going to vote. He goes there and they say, Mr. Kweku Sintim-Misa, from our records, even though you registered here, you have transferred your vote to Saboba. In the eastern corridor part of northern region. This morning, are you going to go to Saboba to cast your vote? A vote that closes at 5 p.m. or 3 p.m. or whatever. So it gives you a clearest indication that if we do not know the nature of the login credentials and the protocols surrounding it, we are exposing the electoral system to clear manipulation. And I'll give you this. Kenya, before the 2022 election, allowed KPMG to do an audit, and it is called system audits. There are people specialized in IT to engage in those services. Now, when the KPMG report came, you know the shocking finding that there were persons who had access to the Kenyan electoral register who were not EC officials.
They were not even the officials.
They are not EC officials. Unauthorized persons.
But they had access.
They had access. And you see, Mr. Sintim-Misa, I'm a lawyer. Whatever I say, I need to back it with evidence. We are going into a competitive election with our main opponent, the MPP. Now you have a situation where somewhere 2022, thereabout, the president who has the constitutional responsibility to appoint commissioners onto the Electoral Commission on the advice of the Council of State, appointed a rabid MPP communicator, an IT person, who lectures at the University of Natural Resources in Sunyani as a commissioner. And I'm talking here about Dr. Peter Apiahene. In the 2020 election, Dr. Peter Apiahene, was the one who coordinated and collated the results for Akufo-Addo in the EC Regional Collation Center in Bono region. Akufo-Addo has now made him a commissioner. So you are going into a competitive election with your opponent. The referee is a known MPP person. How can you normalize this?
How do you respond to the argument that, well, they are qualified and they are competent? If they are, how do you respond to that?
You see, thankfully, the response is from the Bible. And I prefer saying it in Akan. Or say, you are doing in our kwai. But you are doing in the fata.
Can you?
You are doing in our kwai. But you are doing in the fata.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
The Bible puts it better. All things can be lawful, but lawfulness is not enough. What perception are you sending out there? It may well be that this Dr. Peter Apiahene is the most objective human being on earth, but you must take away semblance of it. It's very key. Even for adjudicating bodies. Immediately you establish a certain pecuniary interest, it's enough for the person to what? Recuse himself. It doesn't mean the person is not qualified. But in adjudication, you want to send a message that you are impartial, that you do, justice to all manner of person without fear or favor. You are delivering justice, and the person is your son. The person is your known supporter. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Now, even beyond the Apiahene thing, The Electoral Commission, like chairperson, Madam Jane Mensah, decided to recruit 2 IT consultants. Now, these 2 IT consultants that she recruited, Dr. Ofori Ejei and Mr. Yakwachi, they are the IT consultants for the Electoral Commission. Now, Yakwachi, who is now an IT consultant to this Electoral Commission, his father is the late Yao Amfo Kwachi. Yao Amfo Kwachi, aside being, aside the fact that he's from the same Chebi as Nana Addo, was his personal aide. Now you go and recruit the son as your IT consultant. And these things that are happening, the transfers, are IT related. These are not transfers that are being done in locus, in the sense that the person appears before you, writes a form, an application form, and say, I want to do this. And listen carefully. Even for the transfer, Regulation 22 requires that you show proof of residence, in the sense that you must demonstrate that, oh, maybe I'm a teacher. I've been transferred to this constituency for the past 12 months. So transfer my vote. So you must show even proof of your transfer from
so
one.
before a transfer is effected,
Yes.
proof of
You
1
must
year
demonstrate.
stay.
Yes, 1 year, 12 months. Because the reason is that you don't want a situation where within 6 months to an election, you transfer about 4,000 people into one constituency, as it were, to split or change the parliamentary outcome. As for presidential, like I indicated earlier, Ghana is considered to be one constituency. So it is not much of. But parliamentary. You can, and listen carefully, KSM. The parliament from 2021 to date, the difference is only 1 seat. And so if you sit down and allow an electoral commission that has demonstrated clear, without doubt, association with the ruling party, you are in trouble.
Yeah.
And listen carefully. The electoral commission that we have now, the commissioners are about 7 or 9. Akufo-Addo alone has appointed more than 5. More than 5. Samuel Tete, Apiahin, Bosman Asari, Jane Mensah, 2 other women on the commission. That's Akufo-Addo alone. We have never seen that before. Where one president appoints this number onto the Electoral Commission. People are, I always say that we are all human. We go to the same church. We go through the same market. We do almost everything. Humans are humans. You can hope that they will be objective.
Yeah.
But where the thing is 50-50, there's a high likelihood that, so I ground me by how or this man brought me here. Let me think and see if there is any way I can help. And you see, ordinarily, our electoral commission should be acting like Caesar's wife. Caesar's wife must live above reproach. You can't be running through town where you'll be hearing rumors that Caesar's wife is having an affair with Mark Antony. No, you can't. You can't run through town where the conversation is that, oh, Cleopatra is having an affair with Mark Antony. It may be true, it may not be. But we should not get to the point where
Create doubt.
Create that doubt. And so all we have said is that open the system up for a third party. We will all be there. MPP, NDC, CPP, we will all observe the process of the audits. Our Electoral Commission says no. Now, KSM.
Now, what reasons are they giving for the no?
I'm coming.
Okay.
You and I having this conversation. If right now, with my fist, and you can see, you allege that I have stolen your money, and it's a coin, and that is why I'm holding with my fist, and I do not want to open up, what would be my legitimate defense in front of you?
Open the fist. Let me see.
You know me so. Just a little demonstration. I have done this. You say, Edudzi, you have done this because you are keeping my gold coin. It's so expensive. I say, it's not true. I say, it's true. That is why you can't open your... What is my defense? It's to open up. And once I open up, everybody watching will know my palm is as what? White as something.
And on that note, folks, let's take a commercial break because it's getting exciting. Edudzi is still in the house. Edudzi, we'll take a short commercial break. When we come back, we shall continue.
Perfect.
Stick around, folks. We'll be right back.
The KSM Show.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
The KSM Show.
I am Alan Shematin, the founder and leader of the Movement for Change and also the leader of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, otherwise known as the Butterfly Movement. Please keep on watching the KSM Show. This is not just because he's my brother, but he's the greatest of all. Keep watching KSM.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We're back. And we have in the house Edudzi Tamakloe to explain to us all this confusion, you know, because for me, even as just an independent standby guy, I think I did a program and I put the question to the EC that just open the books. And if you open the books and if I KPMG or whoever goes through and nothing is wrong, then shame on NDC. We can move on. But anyway, it's not about me now. It's about Edudzi Tamakloe. And it's a very, very similar example that I gave on some show, some other point. That you're saying your fist?
Yes. So I have my fist closed. And KSM is alleging that I'm holding his precious gold coin. How best do I disprove that?
Sure.
It's to open it up. And like I gave the example, in Kenya, when the Electoral Commission permitted an independent audit by no other person but KPMG, with great repute internationally, the findings were shocking. That people had access to the database of the Electoral Commission of Kenya Unauthorized persons.
Wow.
Yes.
They were not even working with the commission.
Unauthorized persons.
Wow.
What is going on today? At least the NDC has shown a prima facie case with the transfer from Pusiga, to Pusiga, sorry. The Electoral Commission admitted and even dismissed their officer. That's enough basis. That's enough to create doubt.
Is the argument that, okay, you brought this issue, we have even dismissed our officer, let's end it here? Is that the argument, that they actually did take action?
In fact, the Electoral Commission, and I listened to Dr. Bosman aside, sometimes it's shocking, right? This is a man who used to lecture political science at the University of Ghana. Corporate governance, sound governance principle. The accounts, the sage in account have a say. You said you ocha sano. Onimu se sana ye den achia. So even our cultural perception or understanding is that whatever you do, you need a third party to watch your back. That's a validation process. That's a verification process. Look, many times in law, we are told that trust but verify.
Trust.
But
verify.
verify. Now you are telling us that the problem and discrepancies NDC had brought forth, you have resolved the problem.
So trust us.
So trust us. But how do we know that you have solved the problem? When you are the one who created the problem. So it's a simple thing. Allow a third party to validate the corrections you claim you have done. How is it difficult? Look, Jane Mensah and your commissioners, the Constitution gives you the power to compile a register, which you have done. But wisdom requires that you allow a third party to validate your work. That must not have express constitutional, whatever it is. Listen, if you go to the corporate head office of the Electoral Commission, just opposite the cathedral, the National Cathedral site, it has its motto to be transparency, fairness, and integrity.
Transparency, fairness and integrity.
A man who had closed his fist says he's transparent. Ridiculous. You have closed your fist. You don't even want to open it. And you say, I'm the most transparent organization. That's ridiculous. Yes, that's ridiculous. Utterly, in fact, ridiculous. So, our decision is a very simple one. Permitting the audit is even good for you. Because then it enhances your own credibility. I am surprised that the Electoral Commission currently constituted is not interested in enhancing its own credibility.
It's surprising.
It's incredible.
So, since the Electoral Commission seemed very adamant that they are not moving, what is the next step? I mean, what do you do now? In case there's no independent audits.
KSM, I'll tell you something. The Electoral Commission gave us the provisional register. In fact, we had asked for the provisional register much earlier, letters from our director election, Dr. Omane Boama. And he's done excellently well. Now, when we sent the letter, no word from the Electoral Commission. So we sent a reminder that the time you have indicated for the exhibition, we want to have the provisional so we can match. The Electoral Commission said, adamant. Now guess what? A day to the exhibition, they now gave out the provisional register. Dr. Omane Boama and his team of IT people sat down, region by region, constituency by polling station by, and uncovered these discrepancies. Now the Electoral Commission's mind is that having given us the register a day before, we will not be able to do thorough work. But our people crack team sat down overnight and now produced these things to the Electoral Commission. And you see, all we are interested in is in enhancing the credibility of the register. Because you see, election is garbage in, garbage out. KSM. If you permit the garbage to go in, it is the garbage that will come out. The Electoral Commission is telling us, assuring us, that, oh, NDC is true. Your claims are true. And there's another interesting issue. We found that 15,000 persons have been transferred. And you can't trace which constituency they were transferred from.
And they don't have any idea that they've been transferred anyway.
Whether they even do, we can't even tell.
Wow.
Because you see, there must be a paper trail. It's like an audit. If you go to audit, you see a paper trail that this is where the transaction originated from. And this is where it ended. Like maybe payment. You run a company. Payment. You want an auditing firm to come and audit your finances. They come. They have seen that there's been so much expenditure.
Yeah.
But from which account, we don't know. So you have 15,000 people on the transfer list. But which constituency they are coming from, you don't know. So KSM, you wake up one morning, you go on the day of election as the MP, expecting that this number or thousands of these people are on the register coming to vote for you. 3,000 of them have been transferred without you knowing. You are gone. Look, in the 2020 election, my own brother, Felix Fosukwachi, you know him, former deputy minister, and he lost the Abura Asebu Kwamankesi seat to the MPP with 132 votes. 132 votes. That was the vote margin. Do you know that in the year 2012, the MPP MP for Tema East, now Greater Accra Regional Minister, Titus Glover, won the seat with 3 votes. 1, 2, 3. So we used to call him MP3. That's how we used to call him, you know.
MP3.
MP3. That he won with 3 votes. And I sit down to allow close to 15,000. Close to 3,000. Let's know the paper trail. That is what an audit will produce. Now, I've asked, what is it about the EC data that they do not want a third party to look at it? KSM, the election of 2024 is very crucial. It is going to be an election never seen before.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we in the NDC are never going to allow or permit anybody to try any unconstitutional means, as it were, to subvert the will of the people. It won't happen. You see, they can't say, Onifrenia, or say, or better boabo no. Nane nine, dabi, ye kra born away in some. Ye kra born away in some. No. This election that we are going in, look, KSM, I have never, in my 42 years on earth, seen a government in the space of 3 years undermine and destroy everything that we hold dear than Akufo-Addo and Bawumia. And I've always maintained that for the MPP to even put Bawumia to take over from Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is going to be a test of our national sanity. Yes, listen to me carefully. To even put Bawumia on the ballot is going to be a test of our national sanity. You ask, why do I say so? Listen, a government comes to you and says, I want to undertake developmental projects. I do not have money. So I am selling bonds and security instruments. Come and buy it. Now, when you do that, within this maturity period, I'll pay you your principal and your interest. Now, listen carefully. You have a situation where a man, dutiful, diligent in his ways, decides that, look, I won't use all the money to buy chichinga or chibom. I will save some by buying government instruments and bonds, whether Dachin bond, ESLA bond, or whatever. People invested, Eurobond alone, KSM, Eurobond alone. Within the space of 5 years, this government has done 11 billion of Eurobond, dollars. Look, John Mills, John Mahama, and Misata, for 8 years, did only 3.5 billion Eurobond. In the space of 5 years, 11 billion bond. Now, if you even add the Franklin Templeton bond of 2.25, that's 13 billion of bonds in the space of 5 years. In fact, in 2022, the government was going for additional bonds. Now, what's saved all of us today is that the international rating agencies downgraded us. Yes. And so we could not go to the Eurobond market. If not, they were going for additional. By now, our Eurobond receipt would have been in the region of 16 billion. We have done 13 billion of bonds. Now, you wake up one morning, and then the president, listen carefully, the president tells you that bondholders, there shall be no haircuts. Then we clap for him. It's okay. Then 2 months down the line, we are told, domestic debt exchange program. That's a haircut. That they have given it a very beautiful name. Now, KSM, do you know how much poor investors have lost because of the DDEP? 61 billion Ghana cedis. 61 billion Ghana cedis is how much we have lost through the DDEP. Pensioners, pensioner bondholders, institutional bondholders, they have lost this quantum of money. Now, guess what? The chairman of the economic management team, the man whose policy prescription, the policy mix, had resulted in this painful haircut, now says that vote for me because I was just a driver's mate. That's an insult. He takes no responsibility for anything. Look, have you heard Dr. Mahmoud Mamia for a minute say, okay, as a leader, I'm even responsible for A, B, C, D. Here comes Russia, Ukraine, COVID-19. Now, if you ask Dr. Baumia, what is it that you have done by way of policy prescription and what have you, that has brought the economy where it is? He said, no. Me, dear, it is not my deed. It wasn't me. You remember there was this famous song, It Wasn't Me. Shaggy.
That one I remember.
It wasn't me. He's never responsible for anything. It is exogenous. It is something external. As for him, dear, Mr. All Nice.
So let me put this to you.
Go ahead, sir.
With all of this, there's an election, and he breaks the 8.
You see,
And
I want to borrow these words from Nana Ohinto. You see, Nana Ohinto says that, look, if Ghanaians allow MPP to break the 8, they will never respect us. If the MPP in the election ahead of us, if they break the 8, what they will say is that they are entitled to misgovern. Carefully. They will now say that, nasan ngrofo ekura de yenim se sa na omotio. Sama mu ofun ya bebu nyina no. Omasa to aba maye. San nkrofo ekura de omo nse nkrofo ayesi yembu omo kura da. Look, KSM, where you are, you pay your kids' school fee. You expect a scorecard or terminal report. Now your child comes after school, after the term, and then you demand of the terminal report. Then the child has from F in change. Look, this government is characterized by environmental mess. Our water bodies have not looked better since they became or came to power. Economic mess. The economy had never looked better since they came in. Educational mess. KSM is terrible out there. Energy mess. So the 3 EMs, in fact, I will make it even 4 EMs. That is the scorecard that this government had brought. Your child brings this. Then you pat him at the back. Why are dear? I use the biblical example. The parable of the talents. Christ tells us a story, the parable of the talent. And he says that one had a talent, dug a hole, put in the talent, and sealed it. So when the master came, he said, the talents you gave me, immediately you left, I dug a hole and put the talent there. So I'm going to open up the hole and bring your talent back to you. What did the Bible describe that person who had those talents? In very strong words. And so, like the point you raised, voting for MPP in the 2024 election is like telling them that you have an entitlement to misgovern this country. No, it cannot be. KSM, it cannot be. And I can't do say, a sign of what? Disapproval. To them, that enough is enough. And you see, that becomes a wake-up call to others who will be coming. That is why in Akan they will say, Aba yedebo techino, yedebe day, yedebebo ba. There's a reason for it. I've always said our ancestors and elders were the wisest because each life scenario, they found a way of summarizing them in very deep proverbs and wise sayings. If today you don't measure bar well, what standard would you use for Techi tomorrow? And so it is important that Ghanaians, and look, in this election, it is not MPP NDC. It is Ghanaians against the Akufo-Addo MPP. I have said this consistently, that you see, Akufo-Addo knows that constitutionally he can't do a third term. And so, what he's seeking is a third term using Baumia. And so this whole Baumia project is in furtherance of a bigger Ejapadie strategy by Akufo-Addo, and that his kitchen cabinet comprising his family members. So, Baumia is just an experiment.
Does he know that?
By now he should. In fact, if he doesn't know now, then the problem is bigger than I anticipated.
If you think he knows, and none of us, I'm just
No,
guessing.
that's what,
if you think he knows, why will he go for it?
No,
Unless there's...
because it satisfies his own personal ego as well. Look, there's an example. By the time Obama was leaving office in the year 2016, the U.S. economy, among others, were not in the best of shape. So do you know why his vice did, Joe Biden? Do you know why he did? He never contested the election. He never did. Because it's like, I'm the person's vice. The two of us brought the economy, the U.S. or whatever it is, to where it is. Then immediately I come and say, no, I'm just coming to continue. And that is why it has become extremely difficult to define the Bawumia campaign. Is it a campaign for change or campaign for continuity? KSM, you are a very seasoned person. How would you describe the Bawumia campaign? Is it change or continuity?
Mind-boggling.
Absolutely. Because all presidential campaigns globally are fought on the theme of change or continuity. Bawumia alone is the one running a hybrid. He says we should change from the change. I don't understand. Look, Bawumia is not an outsider. He is, as we speak, the sitting vice president of the republic. Now the man says, oh, yes, I admit that there are problems with the economy, but if I fix it now, what would I do tomorrow? Munsuya say, "Se me solve problem no nea, echna me den." So KSM, this show that we've done today, what will you do tomorrow? No, KSM. It means that your show will come to an end. You can't do any show again.
Yeah, I finished.
Yeah, you are done.
Yeah.
And look, this ridiculous proposition is what the MPP had decided to put on the ballot for us to go and decide. Let's be clear in our minds. The election of 2024 is Ghana's second independence. The first independence, we got it from the colonialists. Our second independence is going to be from Akufo-Addo and his cabal. The distraction to the economy, the distraction to our water bodies, the distraction to our, our education. It is the more reason why I would want to encourage any patriots, anybody that has Ghana at heart. This election is not NDC MPP. It is Ghana and the MPP. And not even the whole MPP. The Akufo-Addo MPP. At least President Kufuor was far-reaching, thoughtful. There is this school in Ghana called, they have their motto, Dwena Hwɛ. Think ahead. This one, in a way you describe them as Madumaku government. Do you know Madumaku?
No, that's what.
Let's eat and die. Madumaku. Akufo-Addo's governance style is Madumaku. If not, look, before John Mahama left office, and I'll tell you this. If you look at the financial outlays that he left this government, $250 million in the sinking fund, $250 million in the stabilization fund, $250 million in the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, over $1 billion of money sitting in our accounts for a new government to start life with. Today, as we speak, Akufo-Addo had depleted all of this. And you see, we wanted to carry Ghanaians along. But it's like, oh, yenso munje. Then we woke up one morning. Then now they have 10 in Soshe. You understand? We thought that, oh, the president, he came, oh, Munso Munje, Ghana ya mobododo. Ghana ya mobododo. Ghana yo hiamai. Amamu oboninti eni ebre. Yetisika so. Eni ebre.
Yes, yeah.
Yetisika so. Ghana yo nyamai. Today, do you know the shocking revelation now? KSM. Before Akufo-Addo and Bawumia got the presidency, we knew their finances. In fact, Akufo-Addo at a point had to sell the father's hotel to Societe Generale to run the campaign. We all became aware the 2 million they took from Prudential Bank. Today, the rich Ghana is now poor and Akufo-Addo is now rich. That's the irony. Akufo-Addo and the family today are richer than the Republic. I'm sure you've heard the ambulance contract, $54 million. And KSM, if you go through the details, ambulance that costs $80,000. They sold it to the taxpayer at $120. Inflated it as high as $40,000 on each ambulance. And if you go and look at the people who got it, the young man who has a daughter with the president's daughter, Stephen Okoro. And this is a man who said, if you want to make money, don't be in my government. And that he is coming to protect the public purse. There's no purse. There is no purse today. It has been taken away.
And on that note, folks, Edudzi, showing some love, man. Folks, it's been exciting, and it's. I don't have to say what it has been. You were watching, and so you tell me what you think. But this, what I wanted to get to the bottom of, and he has done it brilliantly, was why there's so fierce resistance, so much of fierce resistance from the EC that we will not audit, and it's very disturbing for me, and it's not a good, but anyway, he has come to explain it. Edudzi, thank you so much for the explanation, for everything you have said, and your presence here, and I'm very, very, very glad that I got you to come and explain this to many, many people who were like, what is all this fuss about? So thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. As you can see, I have a very beautiful umbrella with the 8th. So on the 7th of December, 2024, which is a Saturday, once you are given your ballot paper, it's a very simple thing. You look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see the beautiful umbrella. And the unique thing with the umbrella is everyone is safe under the umbrella. And that's the obvious choice. The time had come that Ghana, we need to reset this republic. I look at our water bodies. That looks so clean. Today they are looking Chokomilo. Now people call it Akufo-Addo Chokomilo. You cannot upgrade. You need to reset that water. Thank you, KSM, for the opportunity.
One more time. And thank you very, very much. Folks, it's been exciting and it's been brilliant and it's been very, very educative. And by the way, I come from Chibi, where we used to have the brim. Now, we used to say, Ochinia yenum brim. You say, Ochinia yenu ateche.
Thank you for this one.
So on that note, we'll be back next week. And until then, we are out of, let the whole world say, yeah.
The KSM Show.